You obviously are very busy right now. You also have a giant movie that you're working on in Ghostbusters. I'm kind of curious. We sort of on this end, reporting on it, experienced some of the feedback loop around it. And I know you've talked about the surprise that you have, but I wanted to get your feedback about where you think some of the differing responses to this film, to this cast.
Well, it's. Anytime you take on something that's iconic, I get it. Like, I don't get mad, like, oh, how dare they? You go like, the only time you get bummed out is when you're like, just give it a chance.
Yeah.
You don't know what we're gonna do, so don't. But I get it. I mean, I get tense whenever something I loved, they're gonna do a remake.
Yeah.
I mean, in Poltergeist, I can't wait to see it. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, oh, I love the original one so much. I hope they don't, mess it up. So I get that thing of like, you're ruining my childhood, which is a little overwrought when I hear it. But at the same time, I do get the thing of like, don't take something I loved as a kid and have a crappy version that then somehow makes me, I don't know, somehow I do get the idea that it could taint something for you, but at the same time, that's why I wanted to do a reboot and just make it a completely different thing. So you go like, look, we're not touching. To me, it'd be worse to do like, it's 25 years later and do something.
These are their
that didn't work.
daughters.
Yeah, it just felt sweaty to me, and I tried to get my head around it,
Yeah.
but I just kind of felt wrong.
Do you think that there was something to the fact that the gender had, see, and this is the interesting thing to me about this, is that the idea is that the gender changed, but it's not like you have a female Venkman, or
No. No, but that's, again, the problem with the internet in general is that something goes out and everybody can react, and nobody knows what's in your head.
Yeah.
So all you can do is kind of go like, what happens, it's the same thing when you put out a movie. When your first trailer comes out, everybody's like, well, clearly all the funniest jokes are in the trailer. And you go like, no, guys, actually, I do trailers where I put jokes in that aren't in the movie because I know we have even funnier ones in the movie. So, but you're sitting there going like, but they all think they already know, so they're making judgments, and you're like, you don't know. So you just have to kind of divorce yourself from it. I listen to it. I listen. I read every tweet that comes in. I've never blocked.
Wow.
I've never blocked a person ever, and so I've gotten some tweets that have wished me dead. But I would go like, you know what? I'm just kind of. I want to hear everything, because out of that there's germs of truth or like kind of salient points people make, and you're like, okay, well, they're overwrought, but there is something interesting if like a bunch of people said this one thing. Go, maybe there's a way to kind of find my way around that. So it's the greatest resource, having that direct contact to people on the internet. So to throw that away and just go like, I'm not going to listen to them, is cutting off a huge resource.